Welcome to the deep dive. You sent us this request for information, an RFI, from Homeland Security's Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction Office. I know, right? Sounds a little intense.
It does.
Like something out of a movie, but trust me.
Right.
This thing gets really interesting. This document is basically a roadmap for understanding what the CWMD office needs, what they're focused on, and how companies can work with them.
It is. It's like a sneak peek into a world we don't often get to see.
Right.
Think of it as a decoder ring for the language of government agencies, revealing their priorities and how they approach these complex problems.
Okay, so let's unpack this thing. The RFI starts with the background section.
Right.
And it says the CWMD mission is to prevent, protect against, and prepare for the full spectrum of WMD threats to the homeland.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big responsibility, wouldn't you say?
It is. And what's so fascinating here is it goes beyond just responding to an attack. CWMD, they're actively trying to prevent things from happening in the first place.
So they're not just waiting around
Yeah.
for something bad to happen.
No.
They're actively looking to stop it.
Yeah, think of it as proactive protection, not just reactive response.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
The RFI also mentions supporting frontline personnel, closing capability gaps, and developing innovative technologies.
Right.
It seems like they're taking a multi-pronged approach here.
Exactly. And that makes sense given the variety of threats they're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Biological, chemical, nuclear, radiological. You need a diverse toolkit to counter such a wide range of dangers.
Right. The RFI specifically mentions that CWMD was created in response to, the rising WME threat.
Right.
That gives some context to why they're so focused on being proactive.
Absolutely. After 9/11, there was a major shift in how we think about national security.
Of course.
The possibility of terrorists getting a hold of WMDs, that was a game changer.
Right.
CWMD was formed to centralize and strengthen the government's efforts in this area.
So it's like they're saying, we're not going to wait for another tragedy.
Right.
We're going to be out ahead of this thing.
Precisely. And the way they're going about it is by, identifying and filling those capability gaps.
Right.
They're constantly evaluating what they're good at, what they need to improve, how to bridge those gaps.
Right.
That's a crucial element of their strategy.
It's interesting how a document like this can reveal so much about an agency's mindset, right?
It is.
It's not just about stating a mission.
Yeah.
It's about, showing how they actually go about accomplishing it.
Right. It's like reading between the lines to see what they truly value, what they prioritize. And that's valuable information for companies that want to work with them.
Of course.
Understanding the agency's mindset.
Right.
That's a crucial first step in developing a successful strategy.
Okay, so let's talk about this RFI itself. It's not a contract, right?
It's not.
It's more like a fact-finding mission for them.
That's right. Think of it as the government sending out a signal flare saying, we've got a challenge. Show us what you've got.
Okay.
They're gathering information from companies who might have solutions, technologies, or expertise that could be helpful.
Okay, and this specific RFI, it's all about their budget and finance office.
Right.
The BFO.
Yes.
That might seem, a little surprising at first.
Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily think of, financial management as the most exciting part of counter-WMD operations.
True, but here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Even in a field as high stakes as this one.
Yeah.
Financial management is absolutely essential. You can have the most cutting-edge technology, the brightest minds, but without careful financial planning and execution, it all falls apart.
Right.
This shows how much they prioritize good stewardship of resources.
It's like building a house, right?
Exactly.
You need a solid foundation.
Yeah.
Even if everyone's focused on the fancy features.
Exactly. And in this case, the foundation is a well-run BFO that ensures resources are used effectively and efficiently.
Okay.
It's not glamorous, but it's absolutely critical.
The RFI outlines several different roles within the BFO, each with its own set of tasks and responsibilities. But one thing that jumps out at me is this emphasis on teaming arrangements.
That's a key insight, I think, into how the government often approaches complex projects.
Okay.
They recognize that no single company can have all the answers.
Right.
So they look for teams, right? A combination of expertise and capabilities from different organizations.
Okay.
This teaming aspect can be really valuable for companies that want to break into this market.
So it's not about being a one-stop shop.
Right.
It's about being part of a team that can tackle the challenge from multiple angles.
Yeah, I guess that's where companies like BidExecs come in.
Yeah.
They can help businesses figure out who to team up with and how to present themselves as valuable partners.
Absolutely. BidExecs has that deep knowledge, right, of the government contracting world.
Yes.
And they can guide companies through the process of forming these strategic partnerships.
Yeah, finding the right team can be the difference between winning a contract
of course,
and missing out.
This RFI also highlights the importance of understanding the specific requirements and regulations of government contracting. The applicable documents and systems section is quite a list.
Right. It's a reminder that it's not enough to have a great solution.
Yeah.
You need to understand the rules of the game.
Yeah.
There are OMB circulars, accounting standards, specific software systems. It's a whole ecosystem.
So trying to speak a different language.
It is.
You need to be fluent in government contractees to get your message across.
And that's another area where BidExecs can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
They can help companies translate their capabilities into the language that the government understands.
So they're like the Rosetta Stone
Yes.
of government contracting.
Exactly.
Helping companies decipher the complexities, communicate effectively. So this RFI, it's about much more than just the budget and finance office, isn't it?
It is.
It's about understanding the bigger picture of how government agencies work and how companies can position themselves for success.
You're absolutely right. It's a window into a world that can seem opaque, intimidating from the outside.
Yeah.
But with the right guidance and understanding, it becomes much clearer.
Okay, so let's dive into the BFO's needs.
All right.
The RFI emphasizes the importance of program and financial management, making sure that resources are used effectively and efficiently.
That's a crucial part of any government agency, but especially one dealing with national security. Yeah.
They need to be able to demonstrate accountability to Congress, to the Office of Management and Budget, and the Department of Homeland Security's chief financial officer. Every dollar needs to be justified.
So it's not just about balancing the books, right? It's about ensuring that every expenditure aligns with the agency's mission and the taxpayers' trust.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I think it would be helpful to walk through some of these interesting tasks they've outlined for the BFO. We've got a lot to uncover, so let's take a closer look.
All right. Welcome back to our deep dive into CWMD's RFI.
All right, so let's start with the accounting branch.
Okay.
One role that caught my eye was the senior accountant. They're responsible for remediating material weaknesses, which sounds pretty intense.
It is. Material weaknesses are essentially flaws in the system of internal controls over financial reporting.
Right. They could potentially lead to misstatements in the financial statement.
Okay.
Not good.
Definitely not, especially when you consider the level of scrutiny on government spending.
Yeah.
Any errors, even unintentional ones, could undermine public trust.
Absolutely. And these material weaknesses, they're often rooted in complex accounting and reporting systems.
Right.
Imagine trying to untangle a giant knot of financial data.
Okay.
That's what these folks are dealing with.
Wow. So this role, it isn't just about, crunching numbers.
Right.
It's about understanding the intricate web of government accounting and reporting standards to make sure everything is, squeaky clean.
You got it. They need someone who can not only identify the problems, but also fix them.
Okay.
All while ensuring compliance with a mountain of regulations and standards.
Right.
It's a high-pressure job, no doubt.
The RFI also mentions that this senior accountant would be supporting CFO monthly deliverables and briefings.
Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty high-profile responsibility.
It is. The CFO needs to keep DHS leadership informed about the agency's financial performance.
Right.
Think, high-level reports, data analysis, and clear presentations, all delivered under tight deadlines.
So this person needs to be able to, translate complex financial information into something that's easily digestible for, non-experts.
Yeah.
Especially those
making the decisions at the top.
Right at the top.
Exactly. It's about clear communication.
Right.
Even when the subject matter is anything but simple.
Right.
Now, another role in the accounting branch is the accounting specialist, too.
Okay.
They're all about reviewing financial data
Okay.
and supporting documentation.
Almost like a financial auditor, right?
That's a good analogy.
Okay.
Think of them as financial detectives searching for inconsistencies or red flags that could indicate bigger problems.
Yeah.
It's about attention to detail and a knack for spotting discrepancies.
The RFI even gets specific about, like, technical skills.
Right.
Proficiency in Oracle financial systems.
Yeah.
And advanced Excel functions. Seems like they're looking for someone who's comfortable in that digital environment.
Absolutely. The government relies heavily on specific software and systems to manage its finances.
Yeah.
Companies looking to provide these services need to demonstrate expertise in these areas.
Like the price of entry, you can't even get to the table without those technical skills.
Yeah.
Now, what about the budget execution branch?
Okay.
The RFI mentions financial resource manager roles, and those sound pretty demanding.
They are. Think of this branch as the engine room of CWMD's financial operations.
Okay.
They manage the day-to-day flow of money, handling everything from purchase requests and invoices to tracking expenditures and managing contracts.
So someone's got to make sure the lights stay on, even in a high-tech, high-stakes field like counter WMD.
Exactly. And it's not just about paying the bills. It's about navigating the complex world of government procurement. And ensuring compliance with all the rules and regulations.
Okay, the RFI mentions creating purchase requisitions, post-administrative requisitions, and drafting forms for interagency acquisition packages. A lot of acronyms, a lot of paperwork by the sound of it.
It can be, yes, but it's all about maintaining accountability and transparency in how those taxpayer dollars are spent. You know, those IAAs, for instance, they allow agencies to collaborate and share resources, but it requires careful documentation and coordination.
So it's about, like, managing CWMD's internal budget, but also being able to work effectively with other agencies on shared projects.
Precisely. This role requires not just financial expertise, but also strong communication and negotiation skills. It's about building relationships and finding creative ways to work together.
There's also this emphasis on tracking internal directorate communication program spend plans. So it's about making sure everyone within CWMD is on the same page, financially speaking.
Right. Each directorate has its own budget and spending plan. It's this role's responsibility to ensure everyone is staying within their allocated budget, and that spending aligns with the agency's overall strategic goals.
It's almost like being a conductor, you know, keeping the whole orchestra in sync. And when you factor in a constantly shifting threat landscape, that can't be easy.
Not at all. Adaptability is key. You know, being able to adjust those spend plans in response to emerging threats or shifting priorities. That's a valuable skill.
Then there's the whole world of contracts and working with contracting officer representatives, the Kapoors, to track payments and burn rates. It's a reminder that, you know, these projects, they involve a lot of external partners.
You got it. Building and maintaining strong relationships with contractors is essential. You need to make sure they're delivering on their obligations, staying within budget and meeting deadlines.
Okay, the RFI also gets into some, like, technical tasks, like performing reconciliations on contracts and IAAs, managing undistributed obligations, and assisting in reporting obligations and expenditures. It's a lot to juggle.
It is, but all of these tasks play a critical role in ensuring the accuracy and completeness of the agency's financial records. It's about meticulous record keeping and attention to detail.
So the budget execution branch is really the operational heart of the BFO. They're the ones that keep the financial wheels turning.
Precisely. They make sure the money flows where it needs to go, when it needs to go there, all while adhering to a strict set of rules and regulations.
Okay, speaking of big picture thinking, let's move on to the integration branch. They seem to be more focused on strategic planning and analysis.
That's right. The integration branch is all about developing and managing CWMD's overall budget. They analyze program needs, craft long-range plans, and track expenditures to ensure resources are allocated effectively.
The RFI mentions a principal budget analyst role. Sounds like they need someone with serious analytical chops to develop budgets
Definitely.
that align with the agency's strategic goals.
This role requires a keen understanding of the agency's mission and the ability to translate that mission into a concrete financial plan. You know, they need to be able to see the big picture and anticipate future needs.
Plus, they need to be able to explain those complex financial concepts to senior leadership, in a way that's clear and concise. Good communication is key.
Absolutely. It's about being able to tell a story with the numbers. Helping leadership make informed decisions about how to best utilize resources.
The RFI also mentions a laundry list of tasks related to budget formulation, preparing annual budget loads, handling apportionment requests, and navigating reporting requirements like Max A11, and the Data Act. Sounds like a lot of red tape.
It can be, but it's all part of ensuring transparency and accountability in government spending. Every dollar needs to be accounted for. And these reporting requirements help make sure that happens. You know, it's about demonstrating responsibility to Congress and the taxpayers.
It's not just about having a plan. It's about being able to prove you're following that plan. And using the money wisely.
Absolutely.
The RFI also mentions creating and analyzing financial statements, which sounds pretty standard for any finance role.
True, but in the government context, there are very specific rules and standards that need to be followed. It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about ensuring that those numbers tell an accurate story about the agency's financial health and performance.
There's also this mention of creating CWMD's annual spend plans and ensuring they align with the funds control spend plan set by DHS. Sounds like a massive undertaking.
It is. It requires careful analysis of historical spending, current needs, and projections for the future. You know, it's about making sure that the agency's spending plans are realistic, achievable, and aligned with its overall mission.
Then there's the task of consolidating and editing the financial operation guide. That sounds like they need someone who's a stickler for details and always on top of the latest regulations.
Definitely. The Financial Operation Guide is essentially the rule book for how CWMD manages its finances. This role involves keeping that guide up to date, ensuring that it reflects any changes in government regulations, policies, or procedures.
So it's about making sure everyone is playing by the same rules. And those rules are current and accurate.
Precisely. And that level of detail is crucial. Especially when you're dealing with something as sensitive as, you know, counter WMD funding.
The RFI also highlights the need to understand how CWMD uses technology for its financial operations, including like systems for managing projects and tasks and resolving funds control errors. It seems like technological proficiency is becoming increasingly important, even in roles that aren't traditionally seen as, you know, tech heavy.
You're absolutely right. Government agencies rely heavily on sophisticated software and systems to manage their finances. Companies need to be able to demonstrate that they can work effectively within those systems.
So in a way, technology is becoming another language that companies need to be fluent in. That they want to work with the government.
And that's another area where BidExecs can help companies understand what systems are being used and what skills they need to develop to be competitive.
So the integration branch is about strategic thinking. Long-term planning. And making sure all the financial pieces fit together. Let's shift gears now and talk about the internal controls branch. They sound like the ones who make sure everyone is following the rules.
That's a good way to put it. The internal controls branch is all about ensuring that CWMD's financial management practices are compliant with all applicable laws, regulations, and standards. Think of them as the guardians of accountability and transparency.
So if the integration branch is the architect, the internal controls branch is like the building inspector. Making sure everything is up to code.
They're the ones who conduct audits. Identify risks. Implement controls to mitigate those risks. They're responsible for making sure that CWMD is managing taxpayer dollars responsibly and effectively.
The RFI mentions lead and mid-level management analyst roles,
Uh-huh.
both of which seem to involve applying knowledge
Right.
of OMB Circular A123
Yeah.
and GAO standards for internal control.
Yeah.
I have to admit, those are a bit over my head.
Don't worry, it's a lot of jargon.
Okay.
Essentially, those are the gold standards for internal control in the federal government. They provide a framework for agencies to assess and manage their risks, ensuring that financial information is reliable and assets are protected.
So it's like a rule book for how to manage risk and ensure that financial systems are sound.
Right.
And these analysts are the ones who make sure CWMD is following that rule book to the letter.
Exactly. They need to be experts in risk management,
Okay.
internal control, and government auditing standards.
Yeah.
You know, they need to be able to think like a detective,
Okay.
looking for any potential weaknesses or vulnerabilities in the system.
The RFI also mentions assisting in the development of the CWMD Annual Statement of Assurance.
Yeah.
What is that exactly?
It's a document signed by agency leadership, essentially vouching for the effectiveness of their internal controls over financial reporting.
Right.
Think of it as a public declaration of their commitment to financial accountability.
So it's about building public trust.
Right.
Demonstrating that they're taking financial management seriously.
Absolutely. It's about showing they have systems in place to prevent fraud, waste, and abuse.
The RFI lists a whole bunch of other tasks related to internal control, from IT system security to preventing improper payments. It sounds like a very detail-oriented and demanding role.
It is, and it requires a broad skill set.
Yeah.
You know, they need to understand financial management, IT systems, government regulations, and even human behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the whole picture, not just focusing on one specific area.
It's about understanding how all the pieces fit together and making sure the system as a whole is working as it should.
The RFI also mentions developing and managing an enterprise risk management program, including an operational risk register. That sounds like they're taking a proactive approach to identifying and mitigating potential problems.
Enterprise risk management, or ERM, is a comprehensive approach to managing risk across the entire organization.
Right.
The operational risk register is essentially a list of the key risks CWMD faces, along with plans for addressing those risks.
So they're not just reacting to problems as they arise.
No.
They're trying to anticipate those problems and prevent them from happening in the first place.
Right. It's about being proactive rather than reactive. It's about thinking strategically about the big picture and developing systems to safeguard the agency's mission.
Okay, so the internal controls branch is all about making sure, the financial house is in order.
Right.
Everything is secure.
Yeah.
And that everyone is following the rules.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about the travel branch.
Yeah.
This one might seem, I don't know, less critical than the others, but I have a feeling there's more to it than meets the eye.
You're right. Managing government travel is more complex than it seems. There are a whole set of rules and regulations that govern everything, from allowable expenses to documentation requirements.
So it's not just about booking flights and hotels. There's a whole, bureaucratic layer on top of that.
Exactly. And the travel branch is responsible for making sure that CWMD complies with those regulations.
Right.
They need to ensure that employees can travel safely, efficiently, and in a way that protects taxpayer dollars.
The RFI mentions a travel analyst role. They seem to be the go-to person for all things travel related.
Yeah.
Helping employees navigate the process, ensuring compliance with regulations.
Right. Think of them as travel agents.
Okay.
But with a deep understanding of government rules and procedures.
Right.
You know, they need to be able to assist with everything from travel authorizations and vouchers to conference requests. And even obtaining official government passports.
Wow. Okay. The RFI specifically mentions using Concur, which I guess is some kind of travel management software.
It is. It's a popular platform used by many government agencies.
Okay.
So proficiency in Concur is essential for this role,
okay,
along with a thorough understanding of the Federal Travel Regulation, or FTR.
Okay, so it's not just about knowing your way around Expedia.
Right.
You need to be fluent in the language of government travel.
Precisely. And that includes knowing the different rules and procedures for various types of travel.
Right.
Whether it's temporary duty travel, a temporary change of station, or even local travel.
So this travel analyst needs to be like a bit of a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Able to handle a variety of travel scenarios and provide guidance.
Absolutely. They need to be able to answer questions, clarify policies, and ensure that all travel arrangements comply with the FTR. You know, it's a detail-oriented role. That requires both technical expertise and strong communication skills.
The RFI also mentions preparing travel-related performance metrics, ad hoc reports, and presentations. Sounds like they need someone who can analyze data and communicate findings effectively.
That's right. It's not just about processing travel requests. It's also about tracking spending, identifying trends, and making recommendations for improvement.
So even the travel branch has a strategic component.
Exactly.
Contributing to the overall efficiency and effectiveness of the agency's operations.
And that highlights, I think, a key takeaway from this RFI. Even seemingly mundane tasks, like financial management and travel planning, play a crucial role in supporting CWMD's mission of protecting the nation from WMD threats.
It's a reminder that every piece of the puzzle is important. And that even behind-the-scenes roles can have a big impact. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Exploring the different branches of CWMD's Budget and Finance Office. But this RFI, you know, it isn't just about telling us what they need. It's also about how companies should respond. So let's talk about those submission instructions.
The submission instructions are often overlooked, but they're incredibly important. You know, they provide a glimpse into how the government evaluates potential contractors. It's like getting a peek at the scoring rubric before you take the test.
So it's not enough to just say, hey, we can do this. You need to present your capabilities in a way that aligns with what they're looking for. What are some key things companies should keep in mind?
First and foremost, clarity is key. You know, the government wants to see that you understand their needs and that you can articulate how your solutions address those needs. They're looking for clear, concise, and compelling proposals.
It's like writing a good cover letter.
Exactly.
You need to tailor your message to the specific job they're applying for.
Generic proposals that could apply to any agency or any project are likely to get lost in the shuffle. You need to demonstrate a deep understanding of, you know, CWMD's mission, their challenges, and their priorities.
The RFI also mentions a page limit for submissions. That seems like a challenge, especially when you're trying to showcase a lot of complex capabilities.
It is, and it underscores the need for concise writing and strategic thinking. You need to prioritize the most important information and present it in a way that's easy to digest. Remember, government officials, they're often bombarded with information. So you need to make your proposal stand out.
So it's not just about what you say. It's about how you say it. You need to be persuasive and compelling within a limited space.
It's about making every word count. And that's where BidExecs can really shine. You know, they can help companies craft proposals that are tailored to the specific requirements of the RFI, highlighting the most relevant experience and expertise.
So they're like expert editors, helping you refine your message. Make sure it hits the mark. The RFI also mentions that companies should, you know, highlight their experience working with government agencies. Particularly,
especially in the field of counter WMD.
Counter WMD.
That makes sense. The government wants to see that you understand the unique challenges of working in this environment. They want to know that you're familiar with the regulations, the processes, and the culture.
So past performance is really important.
It is.
It's not just about what you can do. It's about what you've already done.
Exactly. And it's not just about having experience. It's about being able to articulate that experience in a way that's relevant to CWMD's needs.
This RFI also emphasizes the importance of demonstrating a commitment to quality. and continuous improvement. That seems to be a theme throughout the document.
The government wants partners who are not only competent, but also committed to excellence. They want to see that you're constantly striving to improve your processes, your technologies, and your outcomes.
So it's not enough to just meet the minimum requirements, right? You need to go above and beyond, showing that you're dedicated to delivering the best possible results.
That's right. And that's another area where BidExecs can help. They can help companies showcase their commitment to quality by highlighting certifications, awards, and customer testimonials.
It's about building a strong case for why you're the right partner for this mission. Now, let's shift gears a bit.
All right.
And talk about BidExecs.
Okay.
You've mentioned them several times.
I have.
Throughout our deep dive.
Yes.
How can they help companies navigate this complex world of government contracting, especially in a specialized field like counter-WMD?
BidExecs offers a range of services that are tailored to the unique needs of government contractors. They can help companies develop winning proposals, identify potential teaming partners, and find similar opportunities that align with their capabilities.
So they're like a one-stop shop.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
They have a deep understanding of the government contracting landscape. And they can help companies navigate the complexities of this market.
Let's break down those services a bit further. You mentioned proposal development. What does that involve?
BidExecs has a team of, experienced proposal writers who can help companies craft compelling proposals that meet the specific requirements of each RFI. They can help you tell your story in a clear, concise, and persuasive way.
So they help you translate your capabilities into the language of government contracting.
Yes.
That's incredibly valuable.
It is.
Especially for companies.
Especially those who are new to this market.
Right. New to this market.
And they don't just focus on the technical aspects of the proposal. They also help companies understand the evaluation criteria. And tailor their submissions to meet those criteria.
It's about understanding what the government is looking for.
Exactly.
And presenting your capabilities in a way that resonates with them.
It's about speaking their language. Showing that you understand their needs.
You also mentioned teaming.
Yes.
How can BidExecs help companies find the right partners?
BidExecs has a vast network of government contractors. And they can help companies identify potential partners who complement their strengths and fill any gaps in their expertise. They can help you build a team that can tackle the challenge from multiple angles.
So it's about finding partners who bring something unique to the table. Creating a synergy that makes the team stronger than the sum of its parts.
And BidExecs can help facilitate those conversations, connecting companies with potential partners and helping them navigate the complexities of tuning agreements.
That's a crucial service.
It is.
Especially for smaller companies who might not have the resources or connections to, build those relationships on their own.
It is. Teaming can be a great way for smaller companies to break into the government contracting market and compete for larger contracts.
You also mentioned finding similar opportunities.
Yes.
What does that involve?
BidExecs has a sophisticated database of government contracts. And they can help companies identify opportunities that match their capabilities. They can help you find RFIs, RFPs, and other solicitations that align with your areas of expertise.
So they help you, stay on top of the ever-changing landscape of government contracting.
Exactly.
Make sure you don't miss out on any potential opportunities.
They can save you a lot of time and effort by filtering through the noise and presenting you with the most relevant opportunities.
This RFI has been incredibly insightful, giving us a glimpse into the world of counter-WMD operations.
Yes.
And the intricate machinery of government contracting. It's clear that financial management, analysis, and compliance play a critical role in ensuring that CWMD can effectively carry out its mission of keeping the nation safe.
Absolutely. And what's striking is how this RFI highlights the need for a specialized skill set. Even within seemingly traditional roles, like accounting and budgeting. The government is looking for people who not only understand their craft,
Right.
but also the unique complexities of working in this environment.
It's a reminder that government contracting isn't just about having, the right technical skills.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the language, the processes, and the culture.
Right.
And that's where companies like BidExecs
Yes.
can be incredibly valuable,
Absolutely.
acting as guides and translators for businesses navigating this complex world.
Precisely. They can help companies understand the opportunities,
Right.
develop winning strategies, and build strong partnerships to increase their chances of success.
Yeah.
It's about leveling the playing field and making government contracting more accessible to companies of all sizes.
This deep dive has been fascinating, but it's really just, scratched the surface.
Right.
There's a whole world of information hidden within government documents like this.
Yes.
Waiting to be discovered.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Every RFI, every RFP is a window into a different world, a different challenge, a different opportunity.
Right.
It's about being curious, asking questions, constantly learning.
So to our listener, we encourage you to keep exploring.
Yes.
Keep digging. Keep diving deep.
Exactly.
You never know what fascinating insights you might uncover.